what is up? It is your girl Brielle Figueroa, and we are back for another episode of Good Vibras. I am so happy to have you guys here. I'm so happy that I'm getting so much love and feedback from the episodes. You guys are awesome. Honestly, it makes me so happy to hear that you guys are enjoying the episodes and all those things. So thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate you guys, and I love you guys so much. It means the world to me and always puts a smile on my face. So yeah, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can see I'm back in my little corner for the podcast. And sorry I keep moving. My foot is numb now because I'm sitting on my foot to be a little bit elevated. And if you're not watching on YouTube, description box, check it out. I'll have all my links and everything. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow the podcast on Instagram, whatever streaming platform you use. Check it out on there. Leave a review. It helps so much with the podcast. It really does. Share the videos to anyone who you think might benefit from these episodes. It would mean so much to me. So yeah, let's jump into this episode. So you guys have already seen the title. It is called Know Your Worth. I am super excited to talk about this because for those of you who have been following me on Instagram for the last couple of years, you know I am so big on knowing your worth. I definitely have gone through some experiences that helped me realize how important it was to know my worth. And I wish I didn't learn the hard way, but it's okay. That's my journey in life. But first, y'all know I need my water. We're good to start. So, knowing your worth, I feel like it's something that is constantly talked about, but I feel like it's very easy to forget, what you're worth, right? Now, knowing your worth doesn't necessarily have to just be, oh, you're in a relationship and you lost sight of what you were worth. It could be in, friendships, jobs. Knowing your worth encompasses all things, right? So basically, I'm just going to briefly touch upon a couple things I experienced and what basically was the point where I banged myself in the head girl, know your worth. What are you doing? So for me, honestly, I think when it came to relationships, when I was younger, romantic relationships, what you thought was love type of relationships when you're young, I think that kind of disrupted my self-worth. I definitely am a lover. I give my person my all. I let certain individuals, when I was in my young 20s, kind of dim my light. It really wasn't until the last couple of years where I was like, why am I allowing this person to make me feel like I'm not worth anything? No. So, it's not easy, but it can be done. So I'm here today to tell you guys, listen, as they always say, know your worth and add some tax. Okay? If you're going to add tax on something, add it on your worth. Okay? Knowing your worth is super important. It's very easy to forget what you're worth. I know for me, I would get consumed with, in this case, relationships, the other individual, and I would settle for less because I wanted to please them. Definitely was a people pleaser. I just wanted everyone to be happy. But I definitely neglected myself, which definitely hurt. I realized that, I always thought I was the problem because these individuals made it feel like I was the problem. They would treat me a certain way that I didn't deserve, but I thought, oh, maybe I do deserve that. I would always speak, down on myself and speak negative about myself. Even nowadays, I'll say oh, I'm so dumb, and I'm trying to be more mindful of that negative self-talk because that's not helping anyone, and it's definitely not helping me. I should not be talking to myself like that, right? And we're all guilty of it. It happens. We joke around, but definitely be careful what you say to yourself, because if you, I always would tell myself, oh, I'm such a drama queen. Don't get it twisted. I have my moments where I can be. But when I would say I'm a drama queen, I realized I was doing it because I was invalidating my feelings. I thought, oh, well, I'm just being dramatic for feeling how I do, when actually I had every right to feel how I did, and I just dismissed that. So it's things like that where it's no, Brielle, you need to know your worth. It's okay to know your worth and set boundaries. You don't need to know your worth and then just accommodate to everyone else. So when it comes to knowing your self-worth, I think we all know what we deserve for the most part. We know what we deserve, but because it's hard to find these things nowadays, which is a shame, but it's the truth, we kind of settle for things that half than what we deserve, right? And it's like, why do we do those things? Now, we can't expect everything to be like you have your dream guy, let's say, and everything has to match. No, like that's not realistic. I'm talking about like there are non-negotiables, right, that you have for yourself. Do not, under any circumstances, change those non-negotiables knowing that there really are your non-negotiables for a reason. Don't negotiate. Don't change them, because the moment you do that is the moment that you put yourself to the side. And that is something that I did for a while. I had so many non-negotiables, and I'm talking about ones that are realistic. I'm not talking about these superficial ones. I'm talking about morals and values that you actually hold true to yourself. Do not, go astray from those things to accommodate someone else, because you're abandoning yourself and you're doing harm to yourself. Like at that point, you're basically saying you're not worth it, boo, the other person is. And that is a no-no. We're not doing that. What I would recommend is identifying what matters to you and what's important to you. Realizing like, okay, there are going to be people that are going to come into my life that are going to look good or whatever the case may be, present something really amazing to me. But if it doesn't align with my values or morals or what I'm looking for, I'm not going to settle just because it's the first thing that comes my way, right? If you're in a toxic relationship, oh my goodness, yo girl knows a lot about this. If you're in a toxic relationship, I want you to ask yourself, why am I tolerating this behavior? This is if we all have a little toxic, right? But if you're the one actually being affected in this relationship, you need to ask yourself, one, why are you with someone that's treating you like X, Y, and Z? Would you treat yourself? Would you treat your friends the way that this person is treating you? We all know what the answer would be. No, right? Why are you letting someone treat you that way? Someone who claims to love you, care about you, whatever. There has to be a moment where you're just like, this isn't right. I need to do something about it. I was stuck in a toxic relationship when I was younger. This person did so many things that went against what I wanted in life, against my morals, my values. It's just completely not what I wanted. But because I let my emotions take over and override my intellect, I stayed in a situation that was literally harming me. And it was definitely, there was no self-love there. I did not know my worth at that point. I was really accepting this behavior that is absolutely unacceptable. And then there came a moment where I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what are you doing? I remember I was crying and I'm like looking at myself in the mirror, like, I don't even know who I am anymore. And it was in that moment where I was like, you need to do something about this, because you can't keep blaming this person hurting you and doing all these things, because now you're just allowing it because you're choosing to stay in that situation. There has to come a point where you realize that, a lot of times we inflict things upon ourselves and we just let it marinate in our lives like that. No, you have to be so real with yourself, and it's going to hurt, especially if there's emotions involved. It is going to hurt. I am not saying it's easy, because I know it is not easy. It took me years to finally realize these things, but I don't want it to take years for you guys. When you know when something's bad, take a moment to reflect and be like, why am I stuck? Why am I here? Do I not see my worth? Do I think that I won't find better? Do I love myself? You have to ask yourself these questions, because when you're really deep into something like that, like, it's very hard to be rational. It's very hard to get out of that situation, but it can be done. It can be done. You just have to really be honest with yourself and give yourself the hard truth. Like, hey, you're not being smart right now. You're letting someone take advantage of you. You're letting someone hurt you. Why? What are you getting from this? Nothing. It is time to wake up, and it is time to pack your bags and to keep moving forward. I will promise you this. There are so many good people in this world. You will attract those individuals. But you need to get rid of the trash in order to move forward to attract those individuals. You know what I mean? You can't expect to attract those individuals when you're still dealing with trash. It just, is dirty. Dirty and clean. No, separate for a reason. You have to let go of this toxic, whatever it is, toxic job. It could be a job. If something is not serving you and bringing out the best in you, you have to reach a point where it's not even like a second thought. You're like, I'm done. I'm out. I finally got to this point in my life, and I will say it took a long time. I chose to be hurt quite often in order to learn these things. I read a lot of books. Read books. Fill your brain with things that are going to help you realize like the situation you're in is not it. You know, my faith, that kept me going. Reading self-help books and, you know, books about just empowerment helped me realize, wow, it like literally took the blindfolds away from my eyes. It helped me realize like, hey, do you see what you're doing? There's so much more out there. If other people have it, why can't you? Don't settle because you don't know what the future holds. That's the beauty of life. Everything is going to be surprising and exciting. And honestly, you know, I know, and this is where my faith comes in, I know God has the best thing for me. He has the best relationship in mind for me. He has the best job in mind for me. He knows the goals I want to achieve, and I know He's going to help me get to those points. But I have to do the work too. I have to make sure that I'm creating a life for myself that's going to allow those things to come in. Because I'll tell you what, sorry y'all, I keep moving because my knee is killing me. I apologize for my restlessness. If you're seeing me on camera, I'm like constantly like repositioning myself. My knee is killing me. But, you know, what was I saying? Oh my God, lupus brain. Oh yes, creating the environment to attract good things, right? You're always going to attract little stragglers that come in and are trying to test you. Okay, that's temptation. Don't fall for it. But if you're creating an environment for yourself that's positive, you're going to be, and you know, positive, and you're healing and focusing on yourself, you're going to attract the things that you want, because God's not going to give you something that you're not ready to take. Do you understand? Like, and it took me a while to realize that. I was like, why am I not getting the things I want? Well, because I wasn't doing anything to get me to the point where I could receive those things. So what did I have to do? Well, I had to cut ties with toxic jobs, friends, relationships, whatever it was. Cut it out. I had to, you know, I chose to read my books, to stay focused, to journal every day. I focused on my health, my fitness, doing things that made me feel strong. Fitness boosted my confidence. Reading fed my mind, body, and soul. Doing all the things to help me be the best version of myself. Work towards the best version of myself. Be honest with myself. There were so many nights where I cried and cried and cried because I knew I struggled with so many things. And who wants to admit the things we struggle with? The negative things? No one. But in order for you to level up, you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be like, hey, this is what I struggle with. I'm not good with this. I need help. I need help. There's therapy. There's your churches. There's your friends. There are so many people out here who are willing to help you. You have to be honest with yourself and acknowledge the things that are not helping you level up. And it's okay. No one's perfect. I was so embarrassed to be honest with myself about the things I struggled with. But then I realized I'm human. And the only way I'm going to elevate is being honest with myself about what I need to fix, and then taking the proper steps to fix those things and to grow. And this created a strong mindset for me. I was so focused on just being better for myself and for my future family, my future boyfriend, my future husband, whatever the case may be for, your life. But whatever you want in the future, you have to groom yourself now. You have to prepare yourself now to receive those things, because nothing's just going to be handed to you. You have to put in the work, and it's going to take time, but it's worth it. There is such beauty in the stages of your life where you're growing. I look back at all these stages in my life where I was going through a tough time, but I also reflect on, wow, I grew so much as a person. Even though I chose this experience, I still grew so much from it. Even though I didn't choose to have lupus, I've grown so much from it. Even though I chose toxic, unhealthy relationships, I got out of that and I grew from that. But the key is growing. The key is removing yourself from those situations and then allowing yourself to heal and grow. Because I was able to do those things, I was able to attract a healthy relationship. I was able to attract a better job because I stood up for myself and realized that I was in a toxic environment and needed to move on. And I prayed about it like crazy, and it happened. I was ready to receive these things. Now, by no means have I been perfect. I have my scars. I'm still healing. I'm still human, and I'm working through these things. But I don't want you guys to think that you have to be this perfect person to then get these things, because that doesn't exist. You don't have to, be perfect and heal every single thing you struggle with, because you're not perfect. It's going to take time. But you can heal things and still be working on things, but still be able to receive good things. God wants us to have the best. He wants us to be happy. He wants us to be in love. He wants us to have the dreams, the dream car, or maybe the dream house, or whatever it is. He wants us to have those things, but he wants us to make sure that we're in a good place to receive them, because why would we want something when we're not ready to receive it? We're going to ruin it, The takeaway from this episode I want you guys to get out of this is just don't focus on being perfect, but focus on knowing your worth, adding that tax, making the changes you need to in your life to be the best version of yourself. Don't stay tied down to unhealthy, toxic relationships. Guys, it will do you no good. And I know it becomes like an addiction because it's all that you know and you're used to it, and it's just, but it's just how it is. No, that's all you know. But I promise you, there are so many beautiful things out here. There are such things as healthy relationships, friendships, better job situations. Don't stay stuck. You're doing more harm to yourself. Don't let people influence how you view yourself. Don't let them take over your emotions. Don't let them have that power. Don't let them have that power. You have the power to determine who gets to influence your life, who gets to have that impact in your life. Set boundaries, okay? Set these boundaries. Setting boundaries for yourself is a healthy, selfish thing to do. Don't let people take advantage of you, because people will. People are mean. There are mean people in this world, and they will take advantage of you. That's on them. That has nothing to do with you, and it's not a reflection of you. So set those boundaries, and people will try you and just be like, not today, Satan. No, thank you. Sorry you feel that way. You're not going to disrupt my peace. Setting boundaries is a healthy thing. It doesn't make you, some people think, you think you're better than everyone else. No. And not to me. I'm just saying I've heard people say these things. And it's like, no, I just value my peace. I value taking care of myself. Like, you're not going to disrupt that. Period. Okay? Period. So know your worth, my people. Please, people will come and test you, but don't let them win. Know your worth. Embrace who you are. Stand up there with confidence. Walk with your head held high. And do your thing. Don't let people get you down. And, if you're stuck in a toxic situation, it's toxic. Find help. Go to your people who are supportive. And just remember that there's better. You deserve the best. Do not settle. Because think about how many people are on this world. Do you really think that one toxic person is the only thing you can get? No. No. Know your worth, add that tax, and stand tall and confident. Be the best version of yourself. Don't set any limitations. Don't settle for less than what you deserve. You know what you deserve. So why are you going to settle? Don't settle. Because you don't want to waste years. And you don't want to cause heartache, and you don't want to cause pain on yourself. That's a whole other episode for another day. How stress and all that can actually affect your health. I will talk about that another time. But for right now, I'm going to leave y'all with this, Just really know your worth, and don't settle for anything unless you deserve. You know what you value, you know your morals, and you know what you want. You can get those things, but it starts with you. Create the healthy habits. Create the healthy relationship with yourself first. Love yourself. Know your boundaries. Know what you'll allow and what you won't allow. you're going to flourish, you're going to thrive, and you're going to attract the good things because you're ready to receive them. And it doesn't mean you won't receive good things even when you're going through it. You will. But sometimes, and I know in my experience, like I had good things, so it's important to constantly focus on getting in the right mindset, getting in the right rhythm, being healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, just to improve your overall life. And I promise you, all this toxicity and everything, it won't even have room in your life because you won't even entertain it once. So, yeah. So that's my little spiel, little pep talk on self-worth, because I want you guys to know what you're worth. Do you understand? Do you hear me? Know your worth, my people. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Subscribe, show some love to the Good Vibras fam. If you have any episode suggestions or people that you want me to have on my podcast, let me know. Reach out to me. Just message me. I'm always on my apps. I'm reading my messages, so definitely reach out to me, and I will be putting more content out there. So I love you guys. You guys have a blessed week, and see you on the next episode of Good Vibras. Bye. I definitely stuttered there. Good Vibras. Okay, bye.